All right, this is a listing presentation. This is from my 14-point listing presentation. And we're going to start with begin the conversation. We're actually going to start with our Kodak moment, which is making a great first impression at the door. So I'm standing at the door. I have my backpack with all of my listing supplies, business card, notebook to take notes, pen, of course, to take notes. And I'm going to knock on the door at 5 p.m. exactly, because Susan and I have an appointment at 5 p.m. So knock, knock.
Hello.
Hi, Susan. John Dietz. We had an appointment today at 5 p.m. It's 5 p.m. May I come in?
You may. Thanks for coming.
You bet. Wow, I'm super excited to be here, Susan. Thank you for the opportunity to come over and see your beautiful home. I'm super excited for this opportunity to help you sell your home. Now, before I take a step further, would you like me to take my shoes off?
You know, I think we're good. The carpets are getting clean next week.
Okay, that's great. So, Susan, what I would love for you to do for me now is to take me on a tour of your home. Guys, I'm looking for a notebook to take you. Time out. All right, Susan, what I'd love for you to do now is to take me on a tour of your home. I want you to show me your home like you would if I were a buyer. I want to see your home through your eyes. Now, I'm going to ask lots of questions and I'm going to take lots of notes because this is the information that I'm going to use to help you sell your home. Fair enough?
Fair enough. Thanks so much.
There we go. All right. So as I'm touring the home with Susan, I'm taking notes and I'm asking questions, and I'm doing this out loud. I'm not just taking notes in silence. I'm taking notes out loud. We're touring the home. Wow, Susan, absolutely beautiful. I love the great room. Vaulted ceilings, crown molding, hardwood floors, absolutely beautiful.
Thanks.
This kitchen, yeah. Go ahead, Susan. Sorry, I'm so excited. I'm not going to stop.
We've done a lot of work, but we know there's a few things left to be done. So that's what I'm looking for from you.
Okay. So, Susan, as we're touring your home, here's what I'd love for you to do for me. Point out the things you love about your home. Point out the improvements that you've made, and point out the improvements you would make if you weren't moving.
Okay.
Fair enough? Okay. Gorgeous kitchen, Susan. Wow. Granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, travertine floors. Love your kitchen.
Oh, thanks.
100%. Okay, off role play for a second. This is going to continue in every single room of the home. As I tour the home with Susan, I'm going to point out everything positive about her home. Now, all of you notice that Susan said one of the reasons that she wanted me to come over today is to point out the improvements that she needs to make. I'm not going to do that. It's my job to love her home. So I'm going to, instead of pointing out the things that need to be improved, I'm going to ask her, tell me what improvements you would make next if you weren't selling your home. Now, Susan's going to tell me when we walk into that bedroom that has pink carpet and purple paint, you know, this was my son's room and this was my daughter's room, and we're going to paint this room and put in new carpet. And my response is simply, I would. That's it. It's not, holy cow, what were you thinking? This is awful. That's other real estate agents. Be different. All right. I'm going to ask questions that a buyer would ask. In other words, Susan, how long have you lived in your home?
You know, we've lived here, gosh, for close to 15 years.
Okay. Well, congratulations. That means you have a lot of equity in your house. That's exciting. And, you know, Susan, just out of curiosity, when your home sells, where are you moving to?
Well, we have grandchildren now, so we're going to be moving to the Charlotte, North Carolina area. To
I love that. I love that. That's awesome. Congratulations on your grandchildren.
Thanks.
Yeah, my first grandson turns 4 months old. Actually, he just did. So congratulations. That's exciting. All right, off script again. We're going to end up back at the kitchen table. Now, to give you an idea of how long this tour takes, depends on the size of the house. And on average, it should take you about 15 to 20 minutes. If it takes longer, it's because you got caught up in a lot of conversation, like, oh, you've got dogs. I love dogs. You love dogs, 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 dogs. And acknowledge their dogs, but you're not there to talk about dogs. You're there to sell their home. Now, listen to me, because you've heard me say this before. If they have a dog, kneel down on the ground, pet the dog, ask what the dog's name is, write it down in your notes so you can remember it. It's important, but don't get caught up in side conversations when you're touring their home. You're there for a reason. You're there to help them sell their home. All right, we're at the kitchen table. Now, I'm sitting down with Susan, and Susan, thank you so much for meeting with me today.
Well, I just appreciate you coming.
Yeah.
You know, this has been heavy on us,
Hmm.
and we're just ready to make the move.
I hear you. So, Susan, I'd like to start by sharing my mission statement with you. Now, my mission statement is to meet your goals and exceed your expectations. Now, because of that mission statement, in my experience, when I meet with a homeowner like you, one of three things typically happens. One of those three things are going to happen today. Either number one, they understand and appreciate the benefits that I have to offer, and they hire me, which is awesome. The second thing that occasionally happens is they may not hire me, and honestly, that's not so awesome. And then the third thing that happens every so often is I may choose not to list their home.
Okay.
There you go. Okay, so off script for a moment. I was quiet for a reason. I wanted Susan to have time to think about that. I also wanted to give her time to ask, why wouldn't you want to list my house? And if she does, I have a response. If she doesn't ask that question, then I'm going to respond with, now, Susan, you may be wondering why I would choose not to list someone's house.
I was kind of curious.
Yeah, right. And you're going to really like the answer. You see, if I feel that a homeowner has a goal or an expectation that I cannot meet or exceed, I would rather turn the opportunity down today than let you down 6 months from now.
Wow. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
because, you know, we want our house sold before 6 months.
There you go. There you go. And Susan, because I know you're going to meet with other real estate agents, I asked and you told me you are. So because I know that you're going to meet with other real estate agents, I know you're going to meet with someone who will tell you anything you want to hear just to get your listing. And
you know, I've already met with one of those.
Yeah.
And you're right.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you're here.
Yeah. And you know, the good news for you is I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And the other good news for you, and please don't take this the wrong way, is I don't need to list your house. You see, if I needed to list your home, I would tell you anything you wanted to hear just to put a sign in your front yard, and you're going to meet with someone who does that.
Well, I truly appreciate that.
And my pleasure. Now, Susan, in order for me to know if I can meet your goals and exceed your expectations, I need to ask you a couple of questions. Would that be okay?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Scale of 1 to 10, what's one thing that needs to happen in the sale of your home for you to consider the experience a 10?
Well, we need to get it sold fairly quickly. We would really like to be in our next home within the next 2 months. And of course, we need this home to sell to buy our new home.
All right, so sold quickly in order to be in your new home within the next 2 months.
Yes.
Tell me, what does that do for you? Why is that important?
Well, I told you we need to be close to grandchildren. We've got some grandchildren and kids that need some support. And with school starting, we need to be closer to help them.
I hear you. Okay, that's important. I got it. So Susan, if we could accomplish a second goal. By the way, if you see me look down, guys, I'm taking notes. I'm writing down what Susan's telling me. Now, when I'm sitting at the kitchen table, I'm doing the same thing. And by doing this, I'm conveying that I care about Susan. Susan can trust me, and I know what I'm doing. Really, really important. All right, Susan, if we could accomplish a second goal so that this would be a 10+ experience, what would that be?
Gosh, if you could bring me an all cash offer, that would be super.
And what would that do for you?
Oh my goodness. That would allow us the opportunity to not have to worry about somebody's financing falling through and jeopardizing our new homes, purchasing the new home. Because, inventory is so low right now in the Charlotte area.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of choices up there.
Okay, got it. Okay, if we could accomplish a third goal, so this was a 10++ experience, what's the next goal?
I think it would be listing it quickly. Hopefully, after you've toured my home, you see that we don't have a ton of stuff to do. We know we've got some, but if we could get that done pretty quickly and on the market, that would be great.
So if we could get your guys, please pay attention, because she just opened the door, and I don't want you to miss this. If we could get your home on the market as quickly as possible, when would you like to have it on the market by?
Oh gosh, if we could get it on the market within a week, that would be a load off my mind.
Got it. Susan, are there any other goals, or is that it?
Really, that's it. The only other thing I can say is friends of mine have told me horror stories about, getting a phone call and having to be out of the house within 5 minutes because a showing is coming. If we could have some good communication of how not to have showings, every day, spur of the moment, that would be helpful, especially with the dog and all.
Yeah. Ideally, how much notice are you looking for?
Gosh, during the day we're at work, so we could handle that, be available during the day. But after we get home, gosh, if we could get at least, an hour notice so I could, make sure the floors are clean and find a place for the dog, that would be great.
Perfect. So last question, based on homes that have sold in your neighborhood, and the market. Now, I did my research. We're going to go through a market analysis, but I just want to get an idea from you. Based on the homes that have sold in your neighborhood, where do you see your homes selling?
Oh, gosh. I was really hoping to get probably about close to 700.
Okay. What would that do for you?
Oh my goodness. If we could get that, we only paid like $260. Now, granted, we've done a lot, but we do understand the market. So it would give us freedom to be able to not only move close to these grandchildren, but be able to travel and go see our other grandchildren that are pretty far away. Not to mention, I wouldn't mind if my husband and I, took a trip to Paris or something.
Love that. All right, so I've got 5 goals. I have sold quickly, which we've identified as closing within the next 60 days, important in order to be with your grandchildren, and especially important because you have grandchildren who need support. The second goal I have is an all cash offer. Third goal is on market within 1 week. The fourth goal is communication, to make sure that the real estate agent you hire is effectively communicating with you so there's no surprises. And then the fifth goal is $700,000. If we can get $700,000 for your home, that would be a 10. Now, if we were able to accomplish all of the goals that you just shared with me, would that be a 10 plus experience on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being awesome?
Yeah, amazing. That'd be great.
Yeah, cool. Now, if we were able to accomplish one of the goals, I mean, we crushed it. It's guaranteed. And we maybe miss the other 4 goals slightly. Which one is number 1?
I think that has to be our time frame.
Okay. So sold quickly. So you're with your grandchildren in Charlotte, helping out with the grandchildren within 60 days.
Yes.
Got it. If we could accomplish a second goal and barely miss the other 3 goals, what's number 2?
Oh gosh, I would have to say the price.
Okay. What's number 3?
Definitely good communication.
Got it. All right, so if I was able to help you get your home sold within 60 days so that you're in Charlotte with your grandchildren helping out, and we were able to get 700,000 or as close to 700,000 as possible, and we had great communication with you, that would be a 10 plus experience.
It would.
Okay. And Susan, if I was able to show you that I'm the right agent in order to get all of your goals accomplished, would you hire me today?
If you're ready to go, I'd be ready as well.
Okay, let's get started. So the first thing that I want to do, Susan, I'm going to talk to you about my strategy in order to get your home sold. In other words, here's what we're going to do to market your property. And this is the service plan, my guaranteed satisfaction plan that I have for you, that will show you what I do in order to serve everyone who hires me. And this is the plan that I have in order to attract the right buyer for your home. All right, off script. We're not going to go deep into that because that's going to be different for all of you, but don't overthink this. Don't. It's super simple. Remember, my job is to make the complicated simple. Your job is to make the complicated simple. You don't need a lot of flashy stuff right here. You need to show that you care about them, they can trust you, and you know what you're doing. Pay attention to what I said, because I highlighted a couple comments. One of the things that I said was how we're going to market your home in order to attract the right buyer. There's a difference between attracting buyers and attracting the right buyer. And in order to get Susan's home sold, we need to, first of all, make sure we put it in the right market. So if 650 to 700 is the right market, then we're good to go. If it's not, then I'm going to have a very difficult conversation with Susan and help her understand that 650 to 700 is not the right market in order to have her home sold in the next 60 days so that she could be in Charlotte. Number 1 goal, price was second, maybe 675 to 700, easier to swallow. The right market might be 650 to 675. And she might have to choose $670,000 and being in Charlotte to be with her family, or not getting that price, or trying to get a higher price and not being in Charlotte with her grandchildren within 60 days. All right. This is also important information for later on when you're negotiating offers. Now, the next part of the listing presentation is we're going to go through the market analysis, and all we're going to do is simply compare Susan's homes. We're going to go through details of the properties that are comparable to hers that have sold within the last 3 months. And we're also going to take a really close look at who she's competing against. We're going to look at supply and demand. We're going to talk about which market is the right market for her to be in order to get her home sold and moved within 60 days. We're going to keep going back to that because that's the main goal. I'm not here to help Susan understand what her home is worth. I'm here to discuss the right strategy in order to get her home sold in 60 days so she can be in Charlotte with her grandchildren. Now, closing is nothing more than a natural conclusion to an effective presentation. And there's two different ways I want you to close. Simple is, so Susan, you ready to get started?
Well, yeah.
Okay, we're gonna get our home listed. We're good to go. Now, another way would be, Susan, earlier I asked you that if I was the right agent to get these goals accomplished, if you would hire me today. Remember?
I do.
Okay. Do you feel like I'm the right agent to get your goals accomplished?
You know, I feel really good after our conversation, but honestly, I have one more appointment that I've already made today.
Well done. You get a gold star. Okay. So I get it. You have another appointment. And, you know, Susan, if you didn't have that appointment, hypothetically, right? Because you do. But if you didn't have that appointment, would you hire me today?
You know, based on our conversation today, I feel very confident in your ability to sell my home. I do appreciate you understanding.
Okay. Oh, 100%. All right. Off script for a moment. There's another close here that you can use, but I'm going to go back and I'm going to close on what Susan just said because this is going really, really well. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being you don't like anything I said, and you can't wait for me to leave, and 10 being I'm the right agent for the job. Where are we?
Oh my goodness. You know, with that other appointment, I'm going to have to say a 9.5 because, you know, I just don't know yet.
Thank you for bringing that back in because I can just keep going with this conversation. So Susan, after you meet with them, based on what you heard from me today, if I'm hearing you correctly, I'm the right agent for the job other than having this appointment tomorrow, which means chances are you're going to meet with this other agent and you're still going to hire me.
Probably.
Yeah. So can I tell you why you would actually be doing them a favor if you were to cancel the appointment?
Okay.
Yeah. You see, if you meet with them, they're going to put in time, a lot of time and effort in order to prepare for the appointment. They're going to come over to your house. They're going to tour the house. They're going to sit down and talk with you, just like I did today. And they're going to spend 3-4 hours. And then when you don't hire them, they're not exactly going to be an advocate excited about helping us get your home sold. You see, if I were to call them, and I would be glad to call them for you, and if I were to tell them that you've decided to hire me, however, the good news is we're not going to put your home on the market until 5 days from now. And they have a 5-day head start on everybody else to bring us a buyer.
That would be helpful because honestly, I was doing this because they helped they're a friend of my neighbor. So that would be great.
Okay. Would you like me to make that call for you?
You know, I really do.
Okay.
I would. I'm just ready to get going.
Okay, let's get started.
Okay.
All right, guys, take yourself off mute. First of all, Susan, you did an amazing job. Thank you. And Susan, I'm going to keep talking to you because that was the first time you and I have role played a listing presentation.
Yep.
So from a realtor's point of view, how did that feel?
I felt really good about what you had to say. I actually feel it made me feel better about the way we handle our listing presentations because we've been in those situations. I'm sure all of us have. And I love the way you closed it because I wish I would have done a couple of our listing presentations that way.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I mean, that's why you're here, right? And the good news for you is you're going to have many more listing presentations, and you can listen to this recording. You can write it down word for word if you want to. I'm speaking to everybody right now. It's 100% a script. For those on a call like Alan, I'm getting to him in just a second. They've heard this hundreds of times, and there's not one word that's different. Every word of it is a script. All the smiles and laughs, everything are scripted. You could do the same thing. You did a great job. Thank you, Susan. Alan, talk to me.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, I have heard this many times. And this, when she did it, had a different twist to it. So it was unique. Mm-hmm. It was very good, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think Susan made it better. She really
made it very unique, very nice.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Very good.
John, I'm curious, when you're making your personal presentation about how you're going to market, when do we talk about cost? I mean, because they're getting ready to hire you anyway. So when are we talking about cost and value and what that does for them? Okay, are we talking the market price for their home, or are you talking about real estate? How much they pay us?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, my fee is 6%. Ready to get started? Say no. It's okay.
No.
So Beth, what I'm hearing you ask is you're asking if I would be willing to negotiate my fee, correct? You're on mute.
Yeah, sorry. Yes.
Okay, so when somebody asks me if I'm willing to lower my fee, I'm also hearing them ask how good of a negotiator I am. And you see, the good news for you is I'm a really good negotiator. You see, if I gave away my money that I use to support my family that quickly, how quickly would I give up your money when we have an offer on the table? You see, Susan, Beth, sorry, I think I called you Susan 3 times. Beth, if you hire that limited service discount agent, write it down, you're throwing the competition under the bus. If you hire that limited service discount agent who's willing to give away their money in order to get your listing, remember I said there's going to be agents who are willing to do anything and tell you anything just to put a sign in your yard. You're going to tell them what your bottom line is. In other words, you're going to tell them you're hoping to get 700,000, and you're also going to tell them that you'll take 680. I know you will, because we had that conversation. Now, fast forward, they get an offer. And they get an offer for 670. And the agent responds with, that's awesome, because I know she'll take 680. And you just sold your home for $680,000 when you might have been able to sell it for $700,000. And you lost $20,000 trying to gain an extra 7 or an extra 14. Now, do you want to hire an agent like that, or do you want to hire a professional negotiator like me? And when we have an offer on your home, if I need to give up money in order to make the deal work, I will, because I'm a deal maker, not a deal breaker. So if you're asking me if my fee is negotiable, the answer is yes, when we have an offer, not today.
Interesting. Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Don't make the fee a big deal. It's not. That's why I presented it. And oh, by the way, oh yeah, my fee is 6%. Ready to get started? You know, Beth, a lot of times I won't even bring it up until we're filling out the paperwork. And I'm like, oh yeah, 6%. 3% goes to the other agent. I make 3%. And that's it. Just put it out there. If they have a problem with it, they'll tell you. And if they do, your response is, when somebody asks me if I'm willing to lower my fee, I'm also hearing them ask how good of a negotiator I am. The good news for you, okay, got it. All right, I don't see any more hands up. You guys must be excited about New Year's. Like, all right, you're like, all right, John, that's good, let's go. All right, I'm excited too. Guys, I hope you got great value today. Don't forget, for those of you who have registered for Rainmaker Plus, it starts on Monday. And the very first activity we're going to do in Rainmaker Plus is an extra half hour of practicing and role playing these scripts. If you have no clue what I'm talking about, or you haven't registered yet and you want to, just drop your email in the chat and I'll send you more information. Alan, talk to me.
Question.
Yep.
January 1st is the biggest day for expired listings.
True story.
But it's on a Sunday. Do you recommend calling on a Sunday, New Year's Day?
100%. If you don't, somebody else will.
Yeah. Okay. I was going to do it the second, but
yeah. And there's going to be people on this call that are going to say 100% not. John's wrong. Don't listen to him. I'm cool with that. I am. And it just depends on you. You make that call. But you asked me what I would do. I'm making calls.
No, I'm going to
starting as early as 8 o'clock in the morning. Good morning. This is John Dietz, XYZ Real Estate Company. Hope I didn't call you too early. Happy New Year, by the way. And I'm calling because your home came off the market.
Yeah, I'm calling between 10 and 1 because, New Year's Eve, they get home 4 in the morning.
Dude, I get, again.
And plus the Giants are 1 o'clock. So, priorities.
Oh, the Giants are going to lose. Don't worry about it.
Oh, come on. That's it. I'm going back on mute. I'm going back on mute.
Joke. I don't even know who.
Have a good weekend.
All right, buddy. You too.
John, I have a question.
Yeah, Clarissa. Hi.
Hi. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. So I've sent in my email and everything. So how will we know, and when will we need to get you what we need to get you so that you process payment, all of that?
So good. Thank you for that. So this isn't exactly high tech. I'm going to get a high tech version of this. The way I'm doing this is that's my Venmo account. Okay. And my Venmo name is @John-Dietz-59. It's in the email that I send to everybody who sends me an email, by the way. And as soon as you have paid the $25 to be a part of Rainmaker Plus, I'll send everybody who's paid that $25 a special Zoom link for practicing and role-playing scripts on Monday. You'll also get an invitation at that time to sign up for a private Facebook group where there will be additional training tools and videos. I have a list of everybody who's sent me an email address so far, and drop on that Venmo account, drop $25 and you'll get everything you need.
So John, could you say that again? Because I'm going to type that in the chat.
At John-Dietz-59.
-59.
Yep. Don't know how they come up with those. So if anybody's wondering, were you born in 1959? No, I'm old, but I'm not that old. Okay, that's it. Clarissa nailed it. There it is, everybody. Guys, I appreciate you. I really do. Appreciate you being a part of this community. I'm excited about 2023. I'm going to close with a personal message. If we're not Facebook friends, please Facebook friend request me and I will add you as a friend. I want everybody who's a part of this call to be connected to me on social media as well. I shared this morning, the more I spend time creating Rainmaker Training and Coaching Company, the more that I am getting crystal clear on my vision for this company. And it's very, very different than what—
Good morning. They did close at 9.
Yeah, I know.
Very, very different than what you guys are used to. It's also super simple. It is to focus on the people who make up the company and not the company. That's it. I don't care about the company's profit. I care about you. Everybody have a great new year. See you guys next week.
Happy New Year, everyone.
All right.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a great day, guys.
Happy New Year.
Bye-bye, everybody.